Now the next never list is never read word by word. Just like I said, do not read letter by letter, do not read word by word also, because once again this will cut down our speed, one. Second, it will cut down our processing speed. It's not merely reading speed that is essential, the processing speed. The brain is capable of working tremendously faster. Why do we not give it an opportunity to do its work? Okay? Now let us see what examples we have. Every word is not important. Scan the sentence to get the meaning of every word. How to scan? We'll do the exercise later on, then you will know how to scan. Leave small words except no or not, because no and not will give a negative meaning and then it's opposite of what is written. Except for some of these small words, most of the small words you can totally leave it. Don't have to even go through it. Then ignore prepositions, adverbs and adjectives, because they are just highlighting the actual thing. You don't have to read it. So that's why I said how many and you would have stored. Even conjunctions you can add to this. How many prepositions like of, for, you would have read unnecessarily. So all these are not necessary for getting the meaning of the sentence. You will get the hang of it once you start practicing it. Then learn your grammar and composition elsewhere but not while reading. So even in English class, when you are actually learning grammar and composition, yes, definitely you need to know what is a preposition, what is an adverb, etc. But once you have learned what it is, why bother about that, whether subject is there, predicate is there, because they are there, it is in the textbook. So why are you bothered about reading it that way? Try to read the meaning of what the sentence is communicating to you rather than what exactly the sentence is structured of. Okay?
So just one here. One thing I really noticed, see, from the people who come from village who have not gone to the English medium, they are much better reading and understanding. Maybe because of this reason, they are not bothered about language or anything, just trying to read and understand.
Exactly. Even in a storybook, see, why reading a storybook is comfortable to us, because we are not bothered about the structure of the sentence, we are not bothered about every word, we are not at all bothered about what is written. Actually, the reading is a kind of automatic thing that happens. We are more bothered about the story. So suppose, let us say, you turn the page without your knowledge. See, sometimes suddenly you see you have turned some 30, 40 pages, you don't remember how you turn each page. But in a textbook, 100 times you will see how many more is there, how many more lines are there, when will you turn one page. And then suppose you have some 10 more pages left, 100 times you will see how many more pages are left. Because we are more bothered about what is written there rather than what information we have to get. So your job is to get the information. See, the textbook is trying to communicate some information to you. As a student, you are bothered more about the information than how it is written. It can't be written just like that, because the structure of a sentence is necessary. I am not saying grammar and composition is not necessary, they are very much essential. But for understanding, that is not essential. For actually getting the message that the book is giving, it is not essential. Get the message and then come back, and then they can, if you want, so let us say you get a word which you have not seen for at all in your life. That you try to find out the spelling, try to find out the word, try to get the meaning in a dictionary, go to thesaurus and then see what are the other words that are linked to it, construct a sentence out of it. So many things you can do. But when you are reading, get the message. Suppose in a sentence that word is very important, that gives you the complete meaning of the sentence, immediately go to that dictionary and finish it off, then come back to this sentence. Don't ignore that. And this is where Saccade helps a lot. So you can close the textbook, go to the dictionary, go to the thesaurus, search a web, search Google, see that you confirm what it means, then you can come back and do the thing, so that you will definitely know what it conveys. So the idea is to get the communication, get the message, rather than on what basis it is written. Suppose you go to a house, will you look at the house or will you look at each brick?
House.
Why?
We just want the general structure, we don't need to know what's
Exactly.
in.
So in a textbook, why are you looking at each brick? Each brick is a letter. You are looking at each brick. So once you go to your friend's house, you find out how many bricks he has used to build that house. It's not possible. And first of all, you will also get tired, and your friend will definitely kick you out. Because later on you want to see how many stones he has used for the foundation, so you want to dig up the foundation. So he will not allow you. Not necessary. You just have to go find out where the room is, where the kitchen is, where the hall is, where everything is situated. Because you will get the complete impression. Even your own house, do you know how many bricks you have used? You need not have to. But you have to know where it is situated. Where kitchen is situated, you will definitely know. Even in your sleep, you can go to your kitchen and eat whatever you want. But you don't have to know how many bricks have been used, how many kgs of paint have been used. All these are not necessary. Okay?
So one more question. Again, I'm angling on the same question. When it comes to novels, it's okay. When it comes to science subject or biology subject or specifically maths or engineering subject, there are lots of concepts are there. Unless I read each and every letter word by word and get the details, I won't be able to understand the concept. Now, how to understand the concept? That's where I'm hanging.
See, each concept is explained by hundreds of words. Okay? As I told you, 70% of those words are English only. Leave that English, you will get the concept. Very simple.
So that means it's only reading part only we are taking it. Comprehension of the concept.
That is why when you take minimum information, comprehension becomes easier than when you take so much of information. See, suppose, let us say the concept is explained in one paragraph. Whole paragraph is not important to you. What is that? Most of the time the concept is either underlined or written in italics or in bold letters. That itself will... So what does it mean? Even if you look it up in a dictionary, you will know. The same thing will be explained in different. For example, they may have given the example. So just go through the example, skim through the example, try to use that as an example by yourself, you will understand the concept. That's the end of it. Once you understand the concept, all the things that are built on the concept becomes easy. Suppose you read all the details about the concept, many a times we don't really know what the concept is. We read it, we are comfortable. For instance, most of the times, we want to be psychologically safe. So we want every letter to be read, so that I feel that, oh, I have read. The question that we have to ask is not what I have read. The question you have to ask is, what do I remember out of what I have read? So when you ask that question, all these are unnecessary. So once you finish the concept, close the book, take the concept, try to use that concept, make an application of the concept, or try to define the concept in your own words, you have understood the concept. That ends the matter.